about internships in today's economy. Now, in a normal economy, it's hard enough for students to get a job after college. Now, today, it's even tougher for students to get a job. And the really big struggle here is they're not only competing with themselves anymore. They're now competing against high school students. The amount of high school students looking for internships has significantly increased. I get about 200 to 300 resumes in from students around the world looking for internships, and I would say at least 40% of those are from high school students. So high school teachers are forming these internship programs where students can get college credit. So that's something to really take into consideration. Another thing is that companies are now allowing adults that have either recently been laid off or transitioning into second careers come in and intern at the companies. So the student is not only facing the economic challenge, but they're also facing kind of a new age of competitors here in the internship world. So it's really, really important to consistently be convincing students of the importance of internships. Now, the statistic that NACE put out was that 70% of students that graduate college have internship experience on their resume. 70%, that is a huge, huge number. It's no longer okay for a student to just have one internship their senior year. I really believe that students need to start interning as early as possible. Now, I started interning as a freshman, and as you've heard, I've had 15 internships throughout my 4 years of college. No student needs 15 internships, but I do recommend that around their sophomore year, they do start thinking about it. And I would encourage students to have between 2 and 3 internships. It's really important to remember that a lot of companies are flexible. Students tend to think that, you know, they can't hold internships during the school year, but a lot of companies will work around their busy schedule. Now, how can a student really market themselves and shine through their materials? Now, it's really in the cover letters that a student can best market themselves, especially when a student's coming from a smaller school or a school that may not be as well known to the internship coordinator who's reading over the materials. It's important to include what I call a brag statement within the cover letter. So in the first paragraph of that cover letter, the student should be including a 1 or 2 sentence statement about the school. This should be a marketing statement about the school. You know, I attend McPherson College in Kansas, which is well known for its award-winning automotive restoration program, or something like that. This way, when the internship coordinator is reading over the materials, they don't say, where is the school? I've never heard of this. Because a lot of schools out there, let's face it, are great, but people, you know, in LA or in New York may not have heard of them. So it's really important as a career center to provide students with that 1 or 2 line brag statement so they can include that in their cover letters. This way they're not being disqualified for not attending your Harvards and Stanfords of the world and so forth, especially with really, really competitive companies. Now, when I go around and I speak to schools, the career counselors are always telling me that a struggle they have is that students always say, how can I manage a job, school, and an internship? It's not possible. Well, listen to me. It is definitely possible. There were several semesters in school where I went to class, got passing grades, had an internship, and had a job. I was in Los Angeles for a summer. I had 2 internships, one Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the other Tuesday, Thursday, and then I would wait tables at night. It's important for a student to know their financial needs. So what I recommend doing is having the student figure out exactly how much money they need each week to support whatever their financial situation or financial needs might be. Everyone's different. So they'll write down how much they need this week, and then they just need to create their schedule on their own. Again, students don't realize that companies will work with them. I would say 90% of companies will work with students around their schedule, especially in an economy like this where hard work is needed. And, you know, internships are so beneficial for the students and for the employers. The company is going to allow the student to go to school and to work when they need to. Companies are appreciative of the time they get with the intern. And again, most companies will talk to a student, understand their schedule, take the time to acknowledge their wants and needs, and really encourage them to go to class and to go to their job and to excel in the internship. So I think that's really important to not let the student just kind of walk out of the Career Center saying, well, I have a job, so I can't do it. Most of the internships are unpaid now. A lot of the companies that had paid opportunities have now turned those into unpaid opportunities. NASCAR, for example, had a great paid internship program, and they eliminated most of their paid internships for this semester because of the economy.